Hello and good evening once again. Welcome to the UBC News Tonight at 10 o'clock. My name is Wadulo Arnold, Mugalu, Mohammed on sign language. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. In our headlines tonight, President Museveni swearing in preparation in high gear. Furthermore, tension increase as Ugandans get worried of a second lockdown. Minister Kanyike wants budget for persons with disabilities increased. While Mbara chairpersons get bicycles for mobilization. Once again, it's an honor and thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. Now, to start off, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has hosted the Muslim community to an iftar dinner held at State House in Entebbe. President Museveni congratulated the Muslims for their strides made so far as they near the completion of the holy month of Ramadan. Now, he also praised clerics for preaching the gospel of peace and love. Let's take a look.
I want to congratulate you for nearly finishing the Xevo. Of course, I'm told that only a few days are remaining. Let us pray that we shall all see this Xevo. I want to thank the Muslim community and other Ugandans for maintaining peace and working for unity among the people of Uganda, because that is the line of the NRM. So when I see His Eminence the Mufti here and Bishop Ruere, all of you together, then I know that the ideology of the NRM has even reached you people. When the young lady, there are not many Wanyankwere who speak Arabic. So Natkunda must be one of the very few. The girl who was preaching here. From the name, I can tell that she's a Munyankore or a Muchiga. In a country where there are many different groups, you will cause a problem. You should instead emphasize maslaha, because the maslaha of the people is the same. Want food, all of us want food, want peace, want electricity, want roads. There's no problem, because people want the same things. But when you go Hawiya, then you divide the people. So I'm therefore very happy to hear the preaching, which was being preached by Natkunda. I don't know whether she's a Shekat or something. The question of the people loving one another irrespective of their Hawiya, irrespective of their identity.
I congratulate you once again for being re-elected the President of the Republic of Uganda for 2021-2026. God bless you. Wish you all the success, and may God bless Uganda and bless every Ugandan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. La ilaha.
Furthermore, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni will be swearing in as president on the 12th of May this year at Kololo Independence Grounds. The official swearing-in venue is being prepared for the occasion, expected to attract a number of guests, including presidents. We'll take a look.
This is Joseph Athiza, a young innovator from Mbara district. He is among the invited guests who will witness President Yoweri Museveni's swearing in. He shares with us why he decided to support President Museveni in the recent election. We are here at Kololo Independence Grounds, where the swearing-in of the President-elect, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is going to take place. Just like you know, for any ceremony, there's always entertainment, there's always innovation, more so when the head of state is going to officially assume office. Here at Kololo, I've managed to come across a very young gentleman, energetic, innovative. He's going to tell us why he came up with such a design of a car and why he has brought it to a Kololo Independence Ground. So Joseph,
yeah,
why did you come up with such an innovation? And then secondly, we see you here at Kololo Airstrip. What have you come to do?
Yeah, I'm Kaiser Joseph. I'm from Barara, Western region. Yeah, of course, as an innovator, I made this car to assist His Excellency the President to see whether we can get votes for him. And now I'm here because of this ceremony coming in for His Excellency the President.
Security at Kololo is very tight, with entry and exits and the watchful eye of security personnel. General cleaning of the area is ongoing and tents are being raised. For you who's planning to cause trouble, my dear, security is tight here in Kololo. Meanwhile, Liganga residents have congratulated President Yoweri Museveni upon his recent presidential win in a highly competitive race.
I want to congratulate the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, upon reaching his swearing that is due for 12th.
Era ikirize nekuluno alayire bulungi nno ndisaba Allah owekitiibwa.
They appreciate the good deeds of the president, mainly peace and security.
President ye mwene azira buzibu aya abantu bakozesa n'abakola ebintu mu bukyamu bw'abakoba okola ekindi bo bakola byaibwe.
The youth are among the Iganga district residents that have extended their congratulations to President Yoweri Museveni. Helen Barbara Jizamba reporting for Ubc News.
As COVID-19 continues to hit the world now, new variants of the disease are continuing to emerge. Basing on this, the government warned Ugandans and instructed all COVID-19 task force committees to resume. Iganga district security heads have warned against the flouting of set COVID-19 guidelines. In these details.
After identifying some elements of new variant of COVID-19, the district task forces have been alerted to begin enforcing the guidelines. Speaking to the regional commanders of Busoga East, Katungwesi Anatoli says, as Iganga, they have started enforcing the COVID-19 guidelines as it was before.
Kafyu echaliwo boda zino kukoma sawa emu business zona zino kugarawo sawa 3 era kafyu echaliwo tukyagiteeka mu nkola naye
Anatoli has warned all those flouting guidelines against COVID-19, including bus and nursery schools, of tough consequences.
Against the SOP's guidelines, he's putting himself and the rest of the public at danger because they don't know their status in terms of COVID-19, and such a illegal congregations like these schools which are operating illegally and bars may lead to massive spread of COVID-19. So they are operating illegally, and whoever has information regarding to that should tip us and inform us or any other security organ shall come and put them to order.
Uganda has registered 42,152 COVID-19 cases and a total of 41,652 recovered, while registered deaths are now at 345. People around Iganga municipality are visibly no longer following the SOPs as if the disease is no more. However, majority of them are against the idea of another lockdown.
Kuita abantu ebuyindi abade aya Museveni atukumya kwaye ife byo tusibira baka batusomese busomese batusomese busomese engeri twekuumamu atatwigaliza tunaalyawa
sawa ne tusoma kwigala muntu nga wamwigula wabaida ife betusaanye twamala okunalirira kubanga olire n'ogw'omusolo ogutuluma buli saawa twamala okunalirira atulume gwanatukanga kunana kungukanga twaje twamuziika twe twabaawo
kabwakwekuuma kubanga tulina okufaayo eno okusinza bye tuli kubona ku TV ne bali kutukoba omukulembeze eddagala okwegemya abandi balikwati bali kwenda kwegemya bati bali kwenda kale nitwekuume tugire ku mitendera gye balikola ki gye bali kutukoba n'ekindi akaali kuseeterera ife kututuuka kweno tukasobola okulwanisa ngoole bwe twalwanisa ne tubanga pasente eyatuukawo teri kutuuka kabiri ku kino kubanga bwe kiyaka kibairewo okutukiidya engeri ekyasirikamu ne kitutwala.
The acting deputy RDC Iganga, Willie Paul, says adherence to SOPs should be compulsory to all.
We are going to come up with a law that when you move without a mask, if you're going to a public space, a public place, you shouldn't access that public place without a mask, because now as we are all aware, we assume that at least when you mask, the affection of the COVID-19, we can minimize it when you're putting on the mask. That's why we're encouraging the people within Iganga and those ones outside, those ones who are entering within the town, to be with the mask always 24/7.
Furthermore, the State Minister for Disability and Elderly, Sarah Kanyike, wants a modest budget for people living with disabilities to cater for their mobility, sanitation and hygiene, among others. Kanyike said this while donating mattresses, blankets and wheelchairs to persons with disabilities in Mirembe Zone Natete Kutano, Makindye Sabagabo.
This is Mirembe Zone Natete Kutano, Makindye Sabagabo, the place that floods whenever there is heavy downpour. The Vice Chairperson, Mirembe Zone Natete Kutano, John Bosco Tamale, and a village committee member, Jacinta Tumwebaze, confirmed that people with disabilities find it hard to access toilets since most of the latrines in the area don't favor their status.
emifaliso gyabwe bwe bityo tusaba bamba okubazimbirayo obuyumba. Gavumenti erina obusobozi obusobola okuzimbira abantu bwe bati n'okubateekateekera ebifo ebirungi mwe basobola okubeera nga babakuumira wamu.
Now, persons with disabilities in the area want government to come to their rescue by at least building them toilets to improve their standards of living. The State Minister for Disability and Elderly, Sarah Kanyike, promised them that government will work on their challenges. Kanyike was giving out mattresses, blankets and wheelchairs to people with disabilities in Natete Kutano, Makindye Sabagabo in Wakiso district. She now wants government to increase the budget of persons with disabilities. Beneficiaries thanked the State Minister for Gender, Sarah Kanyike, for thinking about them. However, Kanyike advised parents of children with disabilities to apply for National Disability Fund to improve on their livelihood. Kanyike gave out over 20 mattresses, blankets and wheelchairs to those deserving and promised to reach out to more people with similar deformities across the country. Story compiled by Maureen Iga for UBC News.
A number of government assets, especially land, vehicles and motorcycles, have oftentimes been misused and abused by government officials. However, civil servants are now being asked to handle government assets on their own. Now, this was during the official handover of 42 motorcycles to various districts by the Director for Local Government Inspection, John Genda Walala.
We are aware that government has instructed us now that we should manage our local governments like business entities.
21 district local governments in northern Uganda and its neighboring areas have received 2 motorcycles each to enhance audit function and local revenue collection. The bikes are to be used by the revenue management units and internal audit departments to mobilize and pull district resources together for the good of the community. While handing over the motorcycles, the Director for Local Government Inspection, John Genda Walala, urged civil servants to use them as their own property.
You should not look back to the center for maintenance of these motorbikes. Many vehicles for chairpersons that were seen on the road carrying sand and bricks. Photos are there on social media. Now we say we don't have the resources. When you are given the resources, we mismanage them. So some of us will take the other stuff. You drive a public vehicle and take it to, you park next to a signpost that shows this is a bar, and it's there up to 11 in the night. What are you trying to prove? That you are big money in a local government?
However, the accounting officers also asked the central government for more support in other areas.
Now, because of the technicalities of how to transfer our funds to the center, then the center transfers back to us, that time was unnecessarily delayed.
Meanwhile, the outgoing chairperson for Lira District, Alex Urema Lot, wants government to allow the district to manage their own local revenue.
If one of us is sick, the cow has almost nothing to do because money has not been released this quarter from Kampala. Yet it's our local revenue. We were about to ask, can you come and collect this revenue and bank them to Kampala? So that you drive all the way from your offices, raise revenue, go and bank. We shall sit and be very proud also now you pay us. But for me to sweat.
The Local Government Finance Commission study of 2012 discovered several key factors affecting local revenue performance, and key among them being poor revenue management. Edioloa for UBC News in Lira City.
The Office of the Prime Minister has commissioned 63 classrooms in Yumbe District and 4 completed water systems and sanitation facilities in Madi Okolo, meant to enhance the relationship between refugees and host communities. The facilities under the Refugee Response Fund have been built with financial support from the Germany government through Germany Cooperation KfW and the Office of the Prime Minister. Details follow.
Make friends among yourselves. Don't become enemies, okay? Yes. Have you heard?
Yes. Western Area Sub-Region is hosting close to 837,000 refugees out of the 1,480,000 refugees being hosted in the country, mainly from South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The refugee influx has exerted a lot of pressure on the natural resources of the region that has sometimes led to conflicts. It is for this reason that the Office of the Prime Minister, with the support from the German government, is supporting infrastructure development within the refugee settlements and host communities through the Refugee Response Fund with a commitment of about 42 billion shillings.
I'm really happy, I'm really glad to be with you here today. And I'm really happy, may God bless you. And I hope you will support us more and more.
The Minister for Relief, Refugees and Disaster Preparedness, Engineer Nek, was officiating the handover of classrooms, latrine facilities and teachers' houses built by Save the Children with support from German Cooperation, KfW, under the supervision of the Office of the Prime Minister in Bidibidi refugee settlement.
They Save the Children for really taking care of that component of saving, making sure our children are safe.
Here Nek commissioned Twatiji Primary School and Yoyo Primary School in Yumbe District in the company of Yumbe District leaders, the German ambassador to Uganda, Matthew Schwal, Save the Children country representative, Bridget Van Rich, UNHCR country representatives, and senior officials from Germany Cooperation, the funding agency, among others.
This is why education is of vital importance. It is, I think, more important than any other help that we can give, and that's why Germany is really happy to contribute to the education and to your future, which is also our future.
Of 63 newly constructed classrooms in 13 schools and 105 latrines and 16 teacher houses. Additional classrooms are making a difference in reducing the pupil classroom ratio, and we're also even complemented by over 1,000 desks.
Education infrastructure. Here, I think that our WASH component, once it's fully completed, 45,000 people will have now access to WASH and sanitation.
UNHCR Uganda continues to receive refugees running away from persecution from neighboring countries and appealed for peace across the region so that the issue of refugees can be put to rest.
But now again, the fresh influx are coming from Congo because Congolese had some fight there in Beni or whatever. About 1,500 people were massacred, and many are now coming to Uganda.
Yumbe district leaders asked government to maintain peace for sustainable development. They also asked government and development partners to continue supporting the refugee hosting communities, considering that Yumbe district alone is hosting over 230,000 refugees in the Bidibidi settlement.
By Save the Children, there's 63. That's very, very good for us because it has improved and it is what we can see.
Some parents are not able to feed their children. Some of them may come to school to eat food, and in the process, they start to enjoy learning. I personally went to a rural school, and I want.
In another development, the acting permanent secretary, Office of the Prime Minister, Collins Dombo, commissioned water systems and sanitation facilities at Pawero Primary School in Madiokoro district. He also commissioned water kiosks spread out in the villages.
I also want to thank the local community. We thank the landlord and the community, and we need to look after all these things to ensure that they are sustainable so that we can continue to enjoy this water.
Dombo advised area leaders to support efforts aimed at developing the area. The German government, through KfW and the Office of the Prime Minister, funded the initiative with Oxfam as the implementing agency.
We launched this €10 million grant project, which has been funded by our government. It's been used for the Refugee Response Fund program to support improvement of living conditions of both refugees and host communities.
The water and sanitation facilities are meant to benefit Rhino Camp refugees and refugee hosting communities.
And we're incredibly thankful to the communities of West Nile for their generosity throughout this period.
Pawero Sub-County and Madiokoro district leaders commended the government and the development partners for the support to the district. Madiokoro is one of the 11 districts hosting refugees in the country. Habimana Deo, reporting for Ubc News.
Furthermore, NRM chairpersons in Mbarara City, including the ward NRM chairperson, have received NRM bicycles for mobilization. Now, these bicycles were officially handed over by the resident city commissioner Mbarara City, Lieutenant Colonel James Mwesije, at the NRM offices located in Rebi Corner, Mbarara City.
Mbarara City Resident Commissioner Lieutenant Colonel James Mwesije has appreciated the village NRM chairpersons for the work and support they contributed to the victory of the NRM national chairperson as volunteers. That shows the love they have for the party. Mwesije said the NRM government is against corruption in the party, the reason why the administrative secretary Mbarara NRM branch was arrested and sent to battle with court.
That's why I have appreciated the chairman for delivering all the bicycles and the motorcycles that we are given by NRM. Whoever takes people's things must be arrested. Like our administrative secretary here, when he took money that was given to the candidates of NRM, he was arrested and he's in court. So this Kisanja is a Kisanja of fighting corruption seriously and then fighting poverty in people's homes.
The chairperson NRM Mbara City, Jomo Mugalu, asked all those who receive NRM bicycles to go and start mobilizing for the NRM.
The bicycles are in good order, you can see them, they are all yellow. So we are trying to mobilize for the party for the coming elections. You know, we are still around and we anticipate to win the elections 2026 with 98%.
The chairperson NRM Nel Siwan, Rukanga Makatete, Mbara South Division, Jaffa Mpima asked local council leaders to administer their area using neighborhood watch of 10 families to enable to easily identify and fight increasing crime and share of responsibilities.
We hope as leaders, these people, the chairman, the chairpersons of NRM have been doing a great work, and it was good for the NRM leaders to appreciate. And I hope that from today, these chairpersons NRM, they are going to mobilize and add on the support the movement had.
Even na President Museveni kutereza ahakagari ito tukatamburiza hemu muri mperize government kumara emyaka 23 chairman wentebe yo kubanza.
Polikatwire, the NRM General Secretary in Mbara City, says giving them bicycles is one way of recognizing the importance and work they do, which must be appreciated. Frederick Aine, Helen Barbara, reporting for Ubc TV News.
Government through the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development has intensified measures to address the plight of the Benet indigenous community in Sebei sub-region. Now the ministry with other government agencies will address Benet issues, including the affirmative action and reviewing the constitution, among others. The Benet elders, senior citizens and advocates are supportive of a government decision to resolve the long-awaited lands rights problem of the Benet indigenous community in the districts of Kapchora, Kwen and Bukwo in Sebei sub-region. They unanimously resolved that dialogue is the best option to solve conflict between government agencies and the community in solving land rights problems.
When I saw Minister of Gender and Labour talking about the recognition of the Benets, I felt it was really something, as an elder, I wish they could implement when we are still alive.
So I was really impressed, and I really thank Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development for taking that initiative to always be with the Benet people.
This follows the declaration by the Assistant Commissioner of Family Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Innocent Biaruhanga, during a national engagement meeting in Kampala, that government is strategizing to improve livelihoods of the Benet.
Before the end of this year, 2020, we hope that we will have a full document that's going to look at all the issues that indigenous peoples face and the sustainable solutions.
The project manager, Worldwide Fund for Nature, Francis Alinho, says there is an urgent need for government to implement affirmative action with environmental-friendly conservation strategies.
People should identify which enterprises are best suited for the area. Short-term crops like Irish do very well. Onions, even wheat, even barley. So the available land, the land which has been given to people first of all, should be utilized properly.
The national engagement meeting was organized by Benet Lobby Group with funding from Ujamaa Community Resource Team and partners. For decades, the Benet indigenous community have been demanding for a permanent resettlement, grazing rights, livelihood program, and an independent constituency, among other demands. Pregnant and parenting teens in slums face a struggle of balancing their lives while taking on the role of parenthood too early in life and unusually with no support system. Now this has prompted the Teenage Mothers Outreach Organization to launch the My Heroine campaign to challenge, or to encourage rather, and appreciate the young mothers in Namuwongo who endure several difficulties as they bring up their children.
The number of teenage pregnancies in Uganda is on the rise. This issue was mainly escalated by the redundancy accruing from the COVID-19 pandemic and the laxity in parental support system.
I had a boyfriend I was in a relationship with, but after a while I got pregnant. I thought he would be happy. Unfortunately, I was wrong. When I told him I was pregnant, he pretended to be happy, but he later told me to get an abortion. We got the medicine from the clinic, but I could not go through with it. This made him angry, and he deserted me.
In the lockdown, there's nothing that brought issues like poverty, because these guys were looking for survival. And whoever if they could see that this one is ready to help them go through the situation, they were ready to give in. Not because they would want, but the situation could always force them.
The founder, Teenage Mothers Outreach, Joseph Arinitwe, says this situation is very close to his heart.
My own elder sister got pregnant when she was very young, and I grew up seeing the challenges she went through without the man who was responsible. So I promised myself that if when I get old and able to do something to make a difference, I'll help some people, some young girls that are like my very own sister.
Through their campaign dubbed My Heroine Challenge, Teenage Mothers Outreach aims at celebrating and appreciating the attributes of young mothers in slums who have persevered in hard times without compromising their dignity.
One of the things that what is happening in the community when these children get pregnant, they chase them away. They no one want to see them. So in chasing them away, it is not solving anything. But I want to show them that no, they need love, they need you, they need us. So help them protect their rights, not to get pregnancies like that, but also even when it happens, don't chase them away, because even you are creating more problems instead of solving problems.
The organization also provides rehabilitation and equips young mothers with vocational skills like hairdressing and tailoring as a way of helping them support their children and households.
When I came to Teenage Mothers Outreach, I was asked which skill I wanted to learn. I chose hairdressing because I wanted to be able to look after myself and my child.
Despite the fight against teenage pregnancies, there is still more work to be done by the public and government.
The policies are not well implemented. They can say they are good in talking English, they are good in speaking whatever it is. When it comes to implementation, that's where things go wrong. Most of these girls will get them and they would tell you that this man raped me, and when I went to police, everything stopped there. We try to follow up on this and the other, but what is it? Implementation. That's where the problem comes from. Let the government, the people that are responsible, let them follow up on the implementation of their policies.
My Hearing Challenge campaign is jointly being implemented by Engage Hope Ministries and the Donor Center for Autism. Charlotte Amuge and Robin Yoso for UBC News.
Uganda Water and Sanitation Network, with funding from Water Aid Uganda in partnership with the East African Community, has constructed a 44 million Ugandan shillings hand-washing facility at Wura Customs Border Point in Arua district in order to avert the spread of COVID-19. The facility is expected to serve 4,000 people, especially truck drivers using Wura Border Point to travel into DRC and those heading to South Sudan and Central African Republic through Uganda every month. Details follow.
The country director of Water Aid Uganda, Jane Sembute Musende, has said that Wura border post was selected to be one of the many border points in Uganda and East Africa where adhering to COVID-19 SOPs is a must because of its traffic flow.
So we selected Wura border because of its traffic and its target at risk community, and the fact that this border were supported, but other borders were supported by other development partners. So we didn't want to duplicate.
Deputy Chief Administrative Officer of Arua District, Sandra Ewachabu, identified inconsistency in water supply, especially during dry season.
I was thinking of Vision Town Board helping us to maintain this facility. But I realized that the source of water is not certain. This is rain period that we can harvest rain. What about in dry season? What happens? I've been asking myself, I know this is a management question that we need to answer. If we don't want to make this project a white elephant. Otherwise, when rains go, these tanks will have no water. So I would want I will put our heads together and think about the water. We need to sit down and agree on how water will reach this tank if there is no rain. I think we need to do that.
The Director of Water Aid Uganda, Jane Sembute Musende, called upon the local government of Arua district to ensure the sustainability of the facility even after the COVID-19 pandemic is overcome in the world.
As we are finally launching and handing over this hand washing facility to the management of Vura border, you need to be able to ensure the sustainability of the facilities even beyond the COVID-19. We don't want to end up coming 6 months, a year down, and this is a white elephant.
Deputy Resident District Commissioner, Arua District, Robert Ocheng, said that establishment of the facility has come at the right time as the Vura Customs border post has international truck travelers from DRC, South Sudan and Central African Republic.
I want to thank WestNet for choosing Vura Customs to be one of the first border point to receive this very important facility. I'm so grateful you chose Vura Customs. As we all know, this border point received very many visitors, especially those entering Congo, South Sudan, and Central Africa. They all use this border point. So it is a very important project in this area, which will really help us in reducing the spread of COVID-19.
Over 40 years ago, the World Health Organization made a significant announcement of something that might have actually changed the future of our health. Let's find out what that is in what happened today in history.
Today in history.
On May 8, 1990, following a global vaccination program, the World Health Organization officially declared that smallpox was eradicated. Smallpox is an acute contagious disease caused by the variola virus, a member of the orthopox virus family. It was one of the most devastating diseases known to humanity and caused millions of deaths before it was eradicated. It is believed to have existed for at least 3,000 years. And that day was today in history.
Kapo, you seem to be in a hurry. Where are you going to?
I'm gonna pay URA visit.
But you can access URA online. Why pay a visit?
To know more about the Kakasa Business Solutions, namely Digital Tracking Solution, the Voluntary Disclosure Program and Electronic Fiscal Receipting and Invoicing Solution, which have turned my business around. You know I need to be on top of my game to protect my empire. If you know, you know.
I too need to know what Kapo knows.
Kakasa, be sure you are in charge of your business. Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
We've cut and reduced our MTN Momo withdrawal rates. Now you can withdraw mobile money at the lowest rates. You also get MTN Senchu points when you deposit, send, and withdraw MTN mobile money. Visit our Momo agents countrywide and withdraw mobile money at our reduced rates from 1st May 2021. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.
What does it mean to be closer together? It's taking the last bus home for a surprise visit. Closer together is strangers finding a connection. It's bringing home something much more than a box. It's the warmth of home, or the beginning of something new. There's magic in sharing the things that we learn, because it's those things that bring us close together.
The Clerk to Parliament invites all members-elect of the 11th Parliament to collect their invitation cards. Cards should be collected on Monday 10th and Tuesday 11th May 2021 from the Parliament building between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. All members-elect are advised and requested to adhere to COVID-19 Standard Operating Procedures (SOPs) as they come to Parliament to collect their documents. Signed by Clerk to Parliament.
In efforts to improve quality assurance and Uganda's competitiveness as a tourist destination, Uganda Tourism Board is set to undertake a nationwide grading and classification exercise of hotel and accommodation facilities. As a member of the East African community, Uganda subscribes to the East African Grading and Classification Criteria, a system denoted by stars ranging from 1 to 5. The grading and classification exercise will be crowned by the awarding of star ratings to facilities found compliant to the EAC minimum standards. This is therefore a call to all accommodation and facility owners and managers to register and get licensed by UTB as a requirement and get ready for participation. For more information, visit www.utb.go.ug or email qualityassurance@utb.go.ug for details. Uganda Tourism Board, promoting tourism together.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, in the world of business, Mityana youth have requested the Minister for Information and National Guidance, Judith Nabakova, to help them establish an ICT resource center in the district. This was at a function where the minister also sensitized the youth on the gratification one can realize from participating in a savings and credit cooperative organization. This was in Mityana municipality, where the youth asked Nabakova to be their patron.
The Minister for Information and National Guidance, Judith Nabakova, has encouraged youth in Mityana to embrace the spirit of saving and investing for a bright future. The minister, who is also a patron of the circle formed by the youth leaders in Mityana, aimed at empowering them financially and said that once the youth make sufficient savings, they will have the capacity to initiate income-generating activities.
By a delegation of youth leaders from Mityana, they are here with me at ICT Ministry. They have come with vibrant ideas of empowering them, but also doing mobilization on part of government, but also NRM. I'm grateful being a leader in Mityana, and I hope whatever they have pledged to do, they are going to implement, because they have told me that they are going to form a circle, which circle will be used as a vehicle for mobilization, but also enabling them to improve their incomes in one way or another. They are going to use the same circle to even mobilize the people they lead in their respective sub-counties and town councils or divisions in Mityana municipality. They have also requested me to help them establish an ICT resource center in Mityana. Working with them, of course, a place was identified in Mityana municipality. I'm going to work with the ministry to make sure that we establish an ICT resource center for them. Technology will help them advance. It will help them share ideas with the youth and probably people from elsewhere.
The minister also advised the youth to desist from social media gossip, but to divest their energies in working for prosperity.
We've talked about group and circle formations, encouraging youth to form such groups and circles, encouraging youth to save, and encouraging youth to invest wisely on their income. We've talked about a need for the Honorable Minister to guide the youth in seeking for resources from the Operation Wealth Creation, in guiding the youth prepare very well for the yet to be implemented parish model in this financial year, encourage the youth to work instead of spreading gossip, defaming people on social media and WhatsApp, but to use the internet wisely.
The minister and the youth also discussed on how to track the progress of establishing an ICT resource center in Mityana district. Story compiled by Chitiwa Esther.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.
Welcome back. It's still the UBC News Tonight. We now take you to the international scene. The United States announced that it intends to lift most of the sanctions imposed on Iran to return compliance with the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, while Iran insisted on removing more restrictions as talks continued for further consultations. The latest meeting of Joint Commission on the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, that is JCPOA, was held on Friday in Vienna of Austria. Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Abbas Araki, heading Iran's delegation to the negotiations, said after the meeting that all parties to the Iran nuclear deal or the JCPOA showed a positive attitude towards reaching a solution to resume the implementation of the JCPOA. Iran's standpoint is that the US should lift all unilateral sanctions on Iran since it withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. If the US can agree with this, then Iran is ready to re-embrace its JCPOA obligations, he noted. The US has announced that it is preparing to lift a large part of the anti-Iran sanctions to return to the JCPOA. In another development, the United Nations Security Council, UNSC, on Friday held a high-level meeting with member states attendees, stressing the importance of upholding multilateralism and cooperation in terms of safeguarding world peace, among other issues. Now, this meeting was chaired by the Chinese State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi, who is serving as the month's UNSC rotating president. The president of the 75th UN General Assembly, Volkan Bozkir, briefed the Security Council on multilateralism, saying that multilateral diplomacy has gained a lot of achievements on a number of issues. Practice showed that upholding the multilateralism system with the United Nations at its core has played a key role in maintaining world peace and stability. Furthermore, the World Health Organization granted emergency use authorization to China's Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine on Friday, making it the 6th vaccine to receive World Health Organization validation for safety, efficacy, and quality. World Health Organization Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said that the approval is expected to expand the list of COVID-19 vaccines that COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access can buy and give countries confidence to expedite their own regulatory approval, as well as import and administer the vaccine. The World Health Organization also issued a temporary recommendation for the use of the Sinopharm vaccines on the same day, supporting the promotion of the vaccine on a global scale. In the world of sports, International Olympics Committee President Thomas Bach is unlikely to visit Japan as scheduled in May due to a prolonged state of emergency order from the government lasting until May 31st, said Seiko Hashimoto, president of the Tokyo Olympic Organizing Committee, on Friday. Bach previously said that he expected to visit Japan on May 17th or 18th, hoping to see the torch relay in Hiroshima, but stated that his plans were not finalized, in addition to a meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. Japan's Fukuoka Prefecture will cancel its Olympic torch relay, Chodo News Agency reported on Friday. The torch relay event will be replaced with a lighting ceremony scheduled for next Tuesday and Wednesday. It's exactly 52 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock. Let's take a look at the headlines before we sign out. Tensions increase as Ugandans get worried of second lockdown. Focused on Uganda. While Minister Kanyike wants budget for persons with disabilities increased. Furthermore, Mbarara chairpersons get bicycles for mobilization. Thank you for joining us. It's been a lovely bulletin. My name is Wadulo Arnold. Mugalu Mohammed on sign language. It might be cold out there, but don't worry. As long as you have a safe home to stay in. For those of you that maybe do not have homes, we pray that you get yourself a breakthrough. Sign out. Bye-bye.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa. If we get vaccinated now, observe social distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly. Together we can defeat this enemy.